Greetings, I am Herbert Erpaderp, and today I'm going to build this bubble-wrapped thing, which you've probably guessed from the title that this is the Warlord MAUS. This is a 28mm scale metal and resin kit, and I do kind of wish it came in a box with art and such rather than just bubble wrap. But hey, I guess at least I got to pop some bubble wrap, and who doesn't enjoy that? I would like to say a big thank you to my patrons who are excellent. It's because of them that I was able to buy this kit, though I'm kind of surprised they didn't vote to see this one built first before the other kits on the list. Either way, thank you very much. Okay, let's open it up and see what's inside. I guess the mouse part itself requires no assembly, but there's still a bunch of extra bits in here. There are 3 resin parts: hull, turret, and fuel tank. There is also a little baggie full of metal bits and pieces. These resin parts are quite good. My expectations were rather low. In fact, I resisted getting this model for quite a while, because I've built other Warlord resin and metal models which have been disappointing, to say it nicely. There was a 25% discount on this mouse, and that's why I bought it, and I've not been disappointed. As you should be able to see, the moulding is very neat and crisp, and while the mouse wasn't exactly covered in complex detail, it's pretty much just slabs of metal, the details it does have are really nice. There are some little black marks in various places on the model, and I think that's filler. It seems to me they've done their quality control and fixed any minor errors before sending the model out, and I quite like that. Not just because I'm a lazy shit, which I am, but because it shows they care about this product. There is a little bit of flashing, mostly around the inside of the tracks and around the bottom of the turret ring, but that's nothing major and should easily be removed. The small amount of metal parts are just as good. The bolt detail on the gun mantlet is pretty nice. It is a fairly heavy part and I'm a little bit concerned about the superglue holding it, but it does look good. There's a pair of guns. There's the main 128mm gun, which is huge. It does have some mold lines on it, but they're quite minor and should be very easy to clean up. It looks fairly straight too, which is nice. The smaller 75mm gun is just as good. Both guns have a slight recess in the end of the barrels, so I don't have to drill those out, which is always nice. There's not much to say about these hatches. They're simple, and they look decent. Same goes for the headlamps. And of course this commander figure is included. He would need a little bit of cleanup, but he looks decent enough, though as with pretty much all of my tanks, the mouse is going to be buttoned down. There are no instructions or decals included with this kit, and it should be easy enough to build without instructions, but I was a little bit disappointed that there were no decals. Oh well, I should have plenty of appropriate markings in my collection. I begin the build by cleaning up the fuel tank with a file, mostly the parts where it joins to the hull, so I get a good flat join, though one side of the fuel tank was very messy and needed quite a bit of cleanup. There's nothing too tricky about this. Of course, you should be doing some test fitting as you work, and when satisfied, it's time to glue the part on. This is a resin and metal kit, and plastic cement won't work with either of those materials. This calls for super glue! Doodle-doo-doo-doo! Bond! Oh, I'm an idiot. I just use the cheap superglue from the supermarket. I like the kind with a brush. It makes application easy. The fuel tank goes on easily with just a little bit of pressure. There's a pin and slot to help guide positioning. Very fuel tanky. Next, I install the driver's hatch. It's pretty wide. I wonder if it's for multiple people or they were just planning on having extra wide drivers. The part goes into place fairly easily, though the fit is pretty tight and I did have to file the hatch down a bit so it would actually go in. Looks decent though. Next come the headlamps. I think these parts look quite good, though they are a little bit fiddly to install, so you might want to use tweezers. I nudge them around until they look like they're fairly vertical and forward facing, and that's about it. The hull is now complete. That was quick and easy. Now for the turret. I first had to clean up around the bottom of the round hull joiny part to get the turret to fit the hull nicely because there was a bunch of flash there. That's fine, it was easy to remove and it's not really a visible part of the model anyway. Then I glue the gun mantlet onto the turret. It simply glues onto the recessed area on the front of the turret here. You could attach it at whatever elevation you like, though the part doesn't seem to fit very well if you want to have the gun up much higher than horizontal. I chose this position to allow for the best contact between both surfaces. The glue does support the weight, which is nice. Super glue joins are always kind of delicate though. Next come the two turret hatches. These are keyed to fit the hole neatly, though being just plain hatches there's no correct way around they should go. Just don't put them on upside down and you should be fine. It doesn't look like you could easily model these open to have the commander standing up there, though you could do that with the hatch on the hull. They might be plain, but they do look good and neat. Time for guns. First I attached the smaller, it's a 75mm gun. This goes into place very easily, though there's a little bit of play in the part, so do try to get it mounted into the centre of the hole, and not resting up against one of the edges. This means holding it in place long enough for the glue to set. I then installed the main gun. Neither gun required much cleanup beyond a gentle filing along the barrel, which I appreciate. Like the coaxial gun, this one has a bit of play in the part and you'll need to make sure there's space between the gun and the mantlet all the way around, but that's not especially hard. Superglue does bond pretty quickly. And that's it, the mouse is complete. See what I did there? Haha, get it because it's a pet mouse? And the tank is called Mouse? Ha ha ha! I know! Hey, come back! So this might be the first metal and resin model I've built that I think has turned out really well. Would I still prefer it to be a plastic kit? Well, yes, but this is nice too. Here's Mortimer to demonstrate the sheer size of this thing in comparison to a bolt-action figure. It's clearly huge. I think I might actually use this on my table during games as a piece of terrain when I don't bring it in a force, because honestly I don't really see myself using it all that often, but it would make an interesting addition to a table that would block a lot of line of sight. I think this looks really good. It's really neatly moulded and while there are some errors, they've been fixed by Warlord prior to shipping, which I think is great. Considering the price of this thing, I would be especially annoyed to receive a poor casting. I do hope that this is representative of Warlord's more recent resin and metal kits. While I am very happy with this, I do have some concerns, though they are kind of minor. The weight of the metal gun and mantlet is kind of high, so I'm a little concerned that it might easily be broken off if bumped. Superglue has a high tensile strength, but shearing forces can break the bond quite easily. I guess the way to deal with that is just to be very careful when handling the model. This issue could also be taken care of with some pinning, but I don't think that's quite necessary here. The build was quick and very easy. There weren't many parts at all and it's pretty obvious where they should go, and I don't feel like instructions are really necessary for this kit, though they would be nice to have, especially maybe for a beginner. I obviously don't have another mouse in this scale, or any scale, to compare this model with. I'm not really sure what else there is to say about this. I like it and I'm pretty excited to begin painting it. So, tell me what you think. Does this model improve your opinion on Warlord's resin kits like it's done mine? Let me know in the comments section below. And of course, if you haven't done so already, feel free to subscribe to me here on YouTube, follow me on social media, and watch me live stream on Twitch. And if you really like the things I do, please consider helping to support the channel and help me continue buying awesome models like this over at patreon.com. Links to all of those are in the description below. I shall return soon, so until then, be excellent to each other, happy modelling, and thanks for watching. Farewell.